Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declares Fintiri winner of Adamawa governorship election, defeats Binani to win a second term. Court stops PDP from suspending Nyesom Wike and others over anti-party activities. And court reverses Buhari's sack of Ararume as NNPCL chairman, awards him 5 billion naira and damages. And outside of Nigeria, Zimbabwe marks Independence Day as 10th general election looms. And Tunisia and Syria restore diplomatic relations. Today on Politics Headquarters, I will be joined by the Honorable Commissioner of Information in Kogi State, Honorable Kingsley Fanwo, and also Samson Adeyemi Newton, a legal practitioner and a public analyst. I am Gbenga Aborowa. Stay with us at Politics Headquarters. We will be right back. Now, ahead of the November 11th governorship elections in Kogi State, the APC held its primaries and Usman Ododo, a former Auditor-General in the state, emerged as the party's governorship candidate. Ododo's emergence has seen other aspirants in the election raise an eyebrow about INEC and the APC's conduct. Senator Smart Adeyemi, representing Kogi West at the National Assembly, was one of the aspirants who rejected the results and said other aspirants were disenfranchised. Ododo, the party's candidate, will face Dino Melaye of the People's Democratic Party in the governorship election as the people of Kogi State wait to decide on who will succeed Governor Yahaya Bello. Now, joining me on the show tonight is Honorable Kingsley Fanwo, Commissioner for Information in Kogi State. Honorable Fanwo, it's a pleasure to have you join us on PHQ. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the program, and good evening to viewers around the world.
Now, Honorable Femi Fanwo, I would like to start with this. If you can kindly provide us with a detailed analysis of the factors that led to the emergence of Alhaji Usman Ododo's victory in the just concluded APC governorship primary election in Kogi State. Are you happy with this emergence as your party's flag bearer for the state?
Thank you very much. Immediately, our party set the program rolling. The first thing was for the aspirants to pick their nomination forms, and they went to Abuja to pick their nomination forms. I think about 18 of them. One of them, Honorable James Abiano Faleke, refused to show up for screening, which also signified his withdrawal from the race. And a day to the primary election, about 6 or 7 other aspirants also withdrew to throw their support behind Honorable Ahmed Usman Ododo. And, it was something that was known to even the child in the womb that he would come out triumphant, judging by the massive support of the other aspirants that withdrew to support him. We are very comfortable. He's a very dynamic young man and someone who understands the new direction agenda of the present administration of Alhaji Yahaya Bello, having joined the administration from the first tenure. So it is believed that he's going to take the giant strides of the administration forward. We are comfortable. He's a very marketable candidate, and he's someone that has all it takes to win the November 11 election. So we are very comfortable with his candidature.
You say you're comfortable with his candidature, but others aren't. And I'm talking about 4 aggrieved aspirants of the just concluded governorship primary of the All Progressive Congress in Kogi State, including Senator Smart Adeyemi. He accused Governor Yahaya Bello, your principal, of imposing his cousin on the state. He described the entire process as a rape of democracy. How do you respond to this, Honorable Commissioner?
It is normal for politicians to come out to complain after losing elections. If Senator Smart Adeyemi had won, the election, he wouldn't have come out to complain about the process. He won a free and fair primary two in 2019, and others complained, but he was jubilating. So it is normal in politics for people to complain after losing an election. As describing it as a rape of democracy, it is unfortunate that such sweeping allegations could be made by Senator Smart Adeyemi. But we are not going to join issues with any person. We are going to talk to the issues. It was a very transparent process that threw up Usman Ododo as the candidate of the party. The primary held across the state. But there are things that even some of these aspirants have not been able to acquaint themselves with the constitution of our party. There are two types of membership that you can hold. It's either you're a nominal member or a financial member. When you're a nominal member without paying your dues, you cannot enjoy the rights and privileges that a financial member will enjoy. For instance, it's only a financial member that can vote during special congresses to nominate candidates and also be voted for. So I think they missed it from that point. And going forward, I think it will encourage politicians to also encourage their supporters to pay dues to the party so that they can enjoy the rights and privileges that others enjoy.
Member of the All Progressive Congress, what would you say to other members, the aggrieved parties that are not happy with the way the primary elections played out? What's your advice to them, if you could speak to them right now? Senator Smart Adeyemi and the others, what should be, what's your advice to them?
It's an election and only one person will win. I am one of the closest persons to the governor. I was his chief press secretary, his DG media, his SA media, and now a commissioner under him. I vied for the House of Representatives seat, the nomination for my party, and I lost by 4 votes, 75 to 71. I accepted it and worked with the person who won. So the spirit of sportsmanship is what we need at this point, because under the leadership of the governor, he has ensured fairness, equity, and justice. So I would enjoin them to join hands with the winner of that primary and also join hands with the party structure so that APC will continue to be the dominant party in the state. We've done very well in previous elections. In the 2023 general elections, we won all the 3 senatorial seats. We won 7 of the 9 House of Reps seats, and we won 22 of the 25 House of Assembly seats. So you can see that Kogi is APC and APC is Kogi State. So they should join hands with the person that has emerged so that our party will remain dominant and continue to contribute to the welfare of the people of Kogi State. Dominant
and united, I presume. They say a house divided on itself cannot stand. So with all these divisions and tongues wagging amongst the aggrieved aspirants we've seen in the aftermath of the primary elections in Kogi State, how does your party, the APC, plan to address the grievances in order to present a united front before the November elections? You used your own personal example of when you lost the nomination for the House of Rep seats, that even by a few votes that you got with the winner, and you're working together. So what's the APC strategy in Kogi State to make amends with the aggrieved parties and present a united front?
What can give us victory is what I would call the political chemistry of the party. We must get on well, and we must be able to heal the past and face the future. We've set up machineries in motion to ensure that aggrieved aspirants, not only aspirants are aggrieved, even supporters of the aspirants will not be happy when the person they are supporting loses an election. So we are also talking to the supporters, talking to the aspirants. We've set up that machinery to ensure that we go into November 11 as a very solid, united family. So I don't doubt the capacity of the inbuilt mechanism within the party to be able to resolve all differences. We'll ensure those differences are resolved, and we'll move ahead like one big, united family that is ready for the battle ahead.
Okay, now let's talk about the opposition in Kogi State. Senator Dino Melaye, a former senator, has emerged as the PDP's governorship candidate in your state. What are his chances of winning the general elections, of winning the governorship elections, I beg your pardon, and how much of a threat is he to Usman Ododo's bid to become the next governor of Kogi State? You consider the fact that he seems to have more political experience, is sat for, he's contested for political office and has served as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which might give him an edge over Usman Ododo.
I want to believe you are talking about Senator Dino Melaye,
yes,
and not Senator Adeyemi. Senator Dino Melaye is, I would not underrate what he can do politically. He's a very, he has been on the corridors for a very long time, and he seems to understand the game of politics. But you know, what is happening in Kogi State right now is such that APC, through the very dynamic and pragmatic leadership of the governor, has been able to almost turn the state to a one-party state. Because as it stands now, when you look at the statistics, 3 senators, 7 House of Rep members, 22 House of Assembly members, you would realize the fact that it is not likely that APC will not retain the state. Dino is a familiar foe, and will deal with the situation. He's not a threat as far as we are concerned in APC. He will be defeated again. So it's not an issue at all. And you heard Governor Wike during the week talking about the possibility of Dino emerging, which will also mean that their party will be losing the election. So we know Senator Dino Melaye very well. We are not going to toy with him, but we know that he's a regular customer and he will be defeated again on November 11th.
Now, Honorable Fanwo, still talking about this November the 11th governorship elections in Kogi State. As we approach this date, what are the key issues that will determine the outcome of the election? And how is the APC and Usman Ododo positioning himself to address these issues? And what are the implications of the election result for the future of Kogi State and Nigeria at large?
But let me first talk about the issues that will not determine the outcome first. We know in Kogi State under the present administration of Yahaya Bello, the issue of ethnicity and religion, bigotry and all of that are gone for good. So it is going to be about capacity, it is going to be about continuity, it is going to be about consolidating the gains of the Yahaya Bello administration. I am not going to expect that Alhaji Usman Ododo will deviate from the 5 thematic areas of the present administration. He is a part of that system, so I expect that he's going to carry on with that new direction agenda of fixing education, infrastructure, health, empowerment through agriculture and SMEs and all of that. So I think those are going to be the main issues. As we approach the election, we expect a lot of fireworks, especially from the opposing camps. They definitely will be talking about a lot of other things that will get set to be able to tackle. I think that largely Kogites have witnessed tremendous development under the present administration and would not want anything less from the administration that will be coming after. Usman Ododo is experienced. He has been in government, serving the people with the government of Kogi State since 2016. So we expect that he's going to put that to bear and ensure that the state is moved forward.
Now, Honorable Fanwo, you talked about the giant strides that your principal governor, Yahaya Bello, has made as governor of Kogi State. Now, let's look into his administration and x-ray some of the things he's done in the last 8 years. Now, your principal governor, Yahaya Bello, admitted to destroying major roads leading to Kogi Central Senatorial District, home to opposition senatorial candidate Natasha Akpoti on the eve of crucial presidential and parliamentary elections. He said he did this to prevent terrorists from using it. Natasha claimed it was done to rig elections. Quite a lot of observers found the action by your principal as bizarre and extreme. What is the state of those roads now?
Okay, I think I would start by telling you about some of the things that the administration has done. We came with a very clear vision. He was not an accidental governor. He came with a very clear vision to fix 5 thematic areas: education, healthcare, infrastructure, civil service reforms, and empowerment of youth and women through agricultural SMEs and all of that. So when you take them one by one, you see that he has been able to justify that mandate effectively in terms of what he has been able to do to uplift healthcare facilities in the state, and also educational infrastructure across the state, as well as roads and all of that. So he has done quite a lot, and I think our hope is that the next governor will be able to build on that. As to the roads that you are talking about, we are not talking about many roads. There are roads we've identified are being used by criminals to enter into those places, and they've killed quite a number of people. So in our approach to ensure that we are able to curb this, acting on intelligence, we decided to ensure that they will not be able to pass those places with their vehicles. It has nothing to do with the parliamentary elections. There were other roads that could be used to go into those places. So it's not an issue as far as we are concerned, because APC is solid in Kogi State. We don't need to resort to all that kind of, what people will call dirty politics to win free and square. So it's not political as far as we are concerned. We do everything we can to curtail terrorism, to curtail criminality in the state. You remember that before the advent of the present administration, before 2016, you realized that Kogi was the kidnap capital of the Federation. And there were also some terror cells across the state, especially in that Kogi Central. So we were able to curtail this, we were able to control it. The government expended hundreds of millions of naira to ensure and guarantee the safety of the people, because we know that without adequate security, it will be very difficult for businesses to be able to thrive in the state. And you can see that apart from having Dangote Cement Company, because of the secured environment that we have been able to provide, we also have Manga Cement springing up, a $600 million project that is springing up and going to employ thousands of our youths. And it's coming at a time also that the federal government is giving us a lot of hope about Tajakuta Steel Company. For us to be able to leverage all of these opportunities and the low-hanging fruits, we have to ensure that we provide security for the people, which the administration has been able to do effectively.
Now, Honorable Fanwo, the Yahaya Bello administration had placed a strong emphasis on revenue generation through the Kogi State Internal Revenue Service. Can you talk about some of the innovative measures that have been employed to increase revenue, and how is this translated to social economic development in the state? I also want to know the current state of payment of salaries and pensions to Kogi State government workers and pensioners as a result of this extra revenue that has been accrued into the purse of the Kogi State Treasury.
As a chartered accountant, Alhaji Yahaya Bello understands the place of revenue in development, and immediately he assumed office. The first thing was to reform that sector completely. It used to be called the Kogi State Revenue Board, but he turned it into what we call the Kogi Internal Revenue Service. And what he did is to also create an environment for the staff to be able to perform optimally by building a magnificent revenue house for the state. It is the best and the biggest by any state government in the country. And from there, we could incubate a lot of ideas to improve revenue generation. As an accountant, he explained how he wanted that to be executed. And the issue is that we are not deepening it. We are not making people pay more. Instead, we are spreading it. We are making more people to pay. And that is the magic that has been able to jack up the revenue of the state by over 400%. So we are also deploying this revenue to projects that the people can see. For instance, from Gbenga to Ida, about 56 kilometers, we did a nylon tar road in that place, and a lot of other roads also across the state, including the Kaba Township roads and all of that. So when people see that the taxes they are paying are being deployed to provide infrastructure for them, they are encouraged to even pay more. Part of also the innovation is you don't even have to go to the office, to the revenue office to pay your tax. We were able to digitalize it, and the digitization of the revenue collection in the state has helped a lot to boost, because some people even want to pay, but they don't have the time to go to the revenue house. But on their palm, with their phones, with our apps, they can pay. So it's quite easy. If you want your driver's license, you can start all the processes on your phone. You just go there to pick your driver's license. So a lot of innovations had come into that, and the people are seeing the results, and that is why they are ready to.
Quite an innovative idea that expanding the tax net and also making it easier for people to pay their taxes. But with this 400% increase in revenue, how up to date is the Kogi State government in its payments of salaries and pensions?
I think this is one of the questions I've answered most frequently over the past 4 years, because some people out of mischief has been able to sink this into the psyche of the people that in Kogi State they don't pay salaries. Let me give you the narrative here. What happened was, when we came in, we discovered that the civil service was like a cesspit of corruption. A lot of anomalies, a lot of abnormalities were happening there, and we decided to go into what we call a full-blown reforms of the civil service. While we were doing the screening and staff verification, we stopped the payment of salary momentarily, because if you are fixing your tap, if you are fixing your pipes,
you don't let it run.
If you are fixing your pipes at home, you will ensure that your tap is locked so that you don't waste more water. So that's what we did, and immediately we're done with the screening. We paid all the arrears. Remember that when we came, we even made 3 to 4 months arrears. Some tertiary institutions were even owing up to 6 months. We cleared all of that. And I will tell you that as of today, you can interview anybody under the employ of the state government in our states today. We are not owing a dime. We have paid the March salary before the end of March.
Now, what about pensions?
The policy of the Yahaya Bello administration is that the civil servant must be paid their salaries and allowances before political office holders are paid. That is the importance we attached to the payment of salaries to our civil servants.
So their priority. What about those that have served the state meritoriously and are now retired? They depend on their pensions. What's the state of the pension payment to retirees?
The pension is as regular as the salaries.
Okay.
I think they even pay pensioners even before they pay civil servants. I think the issue that pensioners will complain about generally across the country will be the issue of their gratuity that runs into millions of naira. We've fashioned a way of paying in bits instead of waiting for it to accumulate like the previous administrations did. We have been paying in bits to the pensioners their gratuities, but their pensions are very regular. These are verifiable facts that you can send your crew to Kogi State to come and find out.
Now, Honorable Fanwo, Kogi State is home to a diverse population with different ethnic and religious affiliations. Can you talk about some of the measures that the administration of Governor Yahaya Bello has taken to promote social cohesion and peaceful coexistence among residents of Kogi State?
The first thing to be done when you want such social cohesion and unity is to be a just leader, is to be a fair leader, is to promote equity. And that's what the governor has been able to achieve in the state. in terms of infrastructure, in terms of appointment. He has ensured that it does not depend on where you come from, but your capacity to be able to deliver on the job. The people have seen this and they have keyed into it. He's comfortable with anybody that is Kogites, and even non-Kogites are in the administration of Alhaji Yahaya Bello. So what we made was a very sharp division by politicians who capitalize on that division to be able to hoodwink the people to support them. But today, we no longer have such divisions. Whether you are Igala, whether you are Basa, whether you are Ibra, whether you are Okun, we see ourselves as one people today. And that is one of the strengths of the present administration. That's one of the legacies that he'll be leaving behind, and we want the incoming administration to borrow a leaf from that and take it forward.
Now, Honorable Kingsley Fanwo, as we wrap up this conversation, and I'm happy you ended your previous line with the word legacy. Now, what legacy will the Yahaya Bello administration believe in when they exit Government House on the 29th of May next month? How will the good people of Kogi State remember his 8 years in office?
He will not be leaving next month. He will be exiting January 7th, 2024. But the key thing he'll be remembered for is a governor who has brought security to his people. He has ensured that Kogi is safe. You know, despite the diversity, despite the terror cells we inherited, he has been able to significantly improve on the security of the state, so much that the state is adjudged one of the safest today. It is not that we don't have, once in a while, we don't have some attacks, but, you know, we take proactive steps to prevent that. And when it happens, in very few occasions, we ensure that we respond rapidly to that to be able to put it under control. So you'll be remembered as the security governor. Even the army chiefs, the naval chiefs, all of them have been testifying to that if all governors in Nigeria can take security as seriously as Yahaya Bello is taking it, Nigeria will be a safe place. That is one. Two, he will be remembered as a governor who brought stability to our education. Not just stability. If you enter the Kogi State University today, you know when you are going to leave. There is no longer strike. There is no longer disruption of academic activities in all of our higher institutions. That is one of the legacies that he will be remembered for. What about infrastructure? The teaching hospitals, the teaching hospital for the KSU, and the reference hospital that is also going to serve as a teaching hospital to the COSTECH and all of that. In the area of education also, he established the Confluence University of Science and Technology to be able to provide manpower for the ever-growing industrial estate that Kogi State is fast becoming. So it shows that he'll be remembered for what he has put into education. In healthcare, he brought many hospitals across the state, spread across all the all the central districts of the state, and the biggest one being the reference hospital at Ukene, where we have a hyperbaric chamber. That is the first in the entire African continent, and it means that instead of our people queuing up in Europe, they would come to Kogi State to be able to enjoy these services. He will be very glad when he leaves office because he will be remembered for all of this. He will also be remembered as the first governor to build an overhead bridge in Kogi State. You know, the previous governments, they will even award those contracts and do away with the resources without doing anything. He came, and during the year of the pandemic, he was able to raise enough funds to be able to do that. So he will be remembered for the first lift in the infrastructure of the state. These are some of the legacies that he'll be remembered.
Honorable Kingsley Fanwo, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Honorable Commissioner of Information for Kogi State. We're happy to have had you on Politics Headquarters. Thanks for your time and your insight.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.